Greg, how does Nick Robertson find himself out of the lineup tonight after warmups?
Um, he had expressed an oblique injury. He was a game time decision. He took warmups. We didn't feel he was ready to play, so he's day to day right now.
How do they begin to pull away from you in the middle of that hockey game and end up taking the win?
Thought they pulled away from us from the start. There really wasn't a great effort from our group. From the beginning of the game, Stockton came with a game plan. They executed their game plan. They came to work for each other. They moved their feet. They put pucks in behind our D the entire game. They wore us down. We were not willing to do the same. We came out flat. We thought our skill was going to beat them rather than our work ethic, and didn't even attempt to execute the game plan that we talked about before the game. So it's in my mind, it's 2 games in a row now, 5-on-5 especially, that we've been poor as a group. We haven't been bought into what we need to execute, especially just when it comes as simple as competing. It hasn't been there, hasn't been good enough.
Next question goes to Nick Barden. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, Greg. 3 games in the Coliseum now. Obviously, it hasn't been the best so far, but I was wondering what to you has maybe been the difference, and how have the fans not been being in the arena maybe affected it, if at all?
There's definitely an element missing for home ice advantage. When you have your crowd behind you, it's almost at times feeling like a 6th person on the ice when the crowd can rally behind the group. So right now, even though there are some small advantages to being at home, you don't have that element of it. So most games right now almost feel neutral territory outside of who gets to line up last on the face-off, or some different little rules like that within the game. But I'm sure it's even across the board for everybody. Even when we're on the road and they're at home, they feel the same as if they're missing their fans.
2 more. Next one goes to Justin Levine. Go ahead, Justin.
Hey, Greg, thanks for doing this. So let's try taking a look at the only positive that I think that came out tonight's game, and that was a goal from Colt Conrad. Just in general, how do you think he's progressed the last couple games? And, do you think that being a home is perhaps helping that in any way?
Colt's been working hard. He's trying to find his place within the team, within his his role within the group. He's actively asking the right questions and watching video, and it's sometimes challenging, especially when you get into these last 2 games. Been a lot of special teams. If you don't find yourself on the power play or penalty kill, and the rotations going through, you end up sitting there for an extended period of time. And I've talked to him a bit about the challenge that it's a skill also to sit there sometimes for 4 or 5 minutes and then go out and have your next best shift when you don't feel like you're in the flow of the game and you feel a bit disconnected. It's a tough thing to do, and he got better at it tonight. It's a tough game in general for everybody in terms of what the team effort was, but Colt's finding his way, and he's working through a process, and it's been good to see.
And last question goes to David Sisk. Go ahead, David.
Hey, Greg, I just want to know, in the second intermission, it's still obviously you guys are trailing, but it's still, you're still able to come back. What do you tell the guys in the locker room to try to, motivate them to come back and get the win?
As a staff, we were letting the leadership group talk to the team. It's a lot more powerful sometimes when it comes from peer to peer. You could hear them rallying together and talking about what needs to be executed. I mean, we as a staff we had rolled out the game plan. We talked about what the needs were for the game and to find our way. From the drop of the puck, the team was not executing anything that we had discussed. We didn't feel as though the second intermission there was anything we could say to the team that was going to change anything. We left it up to the players. They rallied together, which is a strong thing to see in terms of leadership and what the group is. But at that point, you'd like to see the team from the start be able to come out, execute a plan, and not have to wait till the third period to show up.